Like, it was, no.
Sorry, we're impersonating Dave reviewing Maleficent.
I don't know.
Actually, we should do still, since we had this last week, we should do still shot. We just got out of Edge of Tomorrow,
which was really good.
It's awesome! Which we so needed after last week.
Yeah.
Which means we're not gonna have nearly as much stuff to say about for this one.
That's the review.
Although it was funny earlier when we were working out what time it turns out that you can go into like odd like who's on first territory if you're texting about this movie, because
and you shorten the title.
Huh?
And you shortened the title.
I didn't shorten the title. I was literally just saying the word tomorrow, or at least I think. Hang on, let me grab my phone. Irving and Sarah were gonna be at The Fault in Our Stars, but we had some like really bad thunderstorms the other day, and Irving's is sump pump blew or something like that. So Irving's at home dealing with that, and Dave is sick with what I had last week. This movie's so good it brought me my voice back. So because Sarah and I are gonna. Sorry, Brian Adams. I don't like you anymore after Legends of Oz. Sarah and I are seeing The Fault in Our Stars tomorrow, and because of that, I didn't really have to coordinate any times for the two movies tonight. So we were originally gonna go see Edge of Tomorrow at 10, but instead I was like, there's an earlier showing. We could go to that. So I texted, hey, would you be up for seeing Edge of Tomorrow at 8 at 8 instead of 10? Irving canceled on the other movie, so I don't have time. So I don't have to time our screening with theirs, since Sarah and I are seeing Fault in Our Stars tomorrow night, which can read kind of confusing when the word tomorrow is.
The word tomorrow came up an awful lot in that, and reading it again, like, I guess you did. But yeah, the way I read it was, would you be up for seeing Edge tomorrow at 8?
That's what I figured when I went back and reread it. So,
because then my dumbass is like, yep, tomorrow 8 o'clock, gotcha.
Which, thank God you said that. Thank God you didn't just write back and go, yep, sounds good to me. Or
this is actually, which is funny because this is exactly the conversation I had with Letty after the next part of this and came out, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I talk in the way that I do, and felt the need to specifically put like, yes, tomorrow, yes.
Which, granted, if that happened, there would still be a 10 o'clock screening.
Oh, yeah. Since
they've been giving us multiple screenings now, which has worked when I've had to be at like a couple different ones. So I text her like, no, not tomorrow. I mean 8 p.m. tonight. Sarah and I are going tomorrow. Then I was reading that back to myself and was like, I'll call him. As your next tweet was, God damn, that title name. This is why they should have kept the title, All You Need Is Kill.
It's like, what? You're gonna kill me tomorrow at 8?
That happened on, when Sarah and I were tweeting back and forth. This is before I was smart enough to turn autocorrect on my phone, and whatever I meant to say, it came out to, I'll shoot Brian tomorrow.
And she shot me a text randomly that day. It's like, oh no, Brad's gonna shoot you. I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck the context of this is.
It's because you're turning 30, motherfucker. Run. A funny text. Sarah did say, she said she would go, she said if it were a different movie, she goes, I would go by myself, but all by myself at a cancer movie would be a bit depressing. I wrote back, almost as depressing as me in the back all alone and blended. And then she goes, LOL. I'm gonna go with just as depressing. Your movie is worse, but no one dies of cancer in yours. To which my response, actually, ... I didn't tell you about that with Blended, where Sandler's wife is dead of cancer and the middle child's imaginary friend is the ghost of dead mother.
Oh, God, you did mention that. I think I just stroked out when you said those words in that order.
Yeah, so you got to see a great scene of him crawling into bed and the little girl going, "No, you'll crush mommy." And Sandler like, "Oh, I'll just spoon her a little."
Oh my God.
Let's talk about our good movie. Fucking Edge of Tomorrow kicks so much fucking ass. Holy shit. This movie's crazy good. Like, here's this is a much funnier comedy than Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh dear God, yes.
So much fucking funnier. What they don't, and I mean intentionally so. I don't mean like, it is intentionally very funny in parts. So dark humor in it too. The humor in this movie is dark as shit and fucking awesome.
Because yeah, it's all that same sort of like, because I mean, in case you haven't seen a trailer for it, the setup is basically Starship Troopers mixed with Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, you know the vibe I was getting when I was watching it? It was honestly less Groundhog Day, even though it'd be impossible not to get that comparison, but not to if someone says that, be like, yeah, okay. But the vibe I was getting throughout this movie wasn't so much Groundhog Day, but like if somebody made like the greatest video game movie ever made. If somebody made a video game movie and incorporated into the plot that you will die and you will have to start over and remember everything that you did to advance further in the story, in the action sequences, in the gameplay, knowing
the exact way that he needs to remember shit.
Yeah,
like, it's like watching someone play like Ninja Gaiden for the first time. It's like,
yeah,
it's like, oh, this shouldn't be hard. Oh shit, this game hates me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like I need to remember, like, I jump on this part and then I jump back and then a guy will run out and then I jump forward again. Otherwise, if I just jump forward, it'll hit me and I'll fall off the cliff.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely the vibe I was getting in this. I was like, this is an amazing video game movie. I would play the shit out of this fucking game too. The greatest thing about making a video game out of Edge of Tomorrow is you don't necessarily have to work it into the video game plot that you will die and have to start over.
That is very true. Although, Christ, that would be aggravating. Like, oh man, I've been playing this for like 4 hours now. Take a stray hit. Fuck!
I guess according to the movie, that's what I was supposed to do, but I feel like I'm losing.
It's really just one level. You just never get to the end of it.
Oh, God. So it's less of a video game, it's a heroin addiction.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck. I would play the shit out of that.
Out of heroin?
No, the video game. Heroin went out in the 90s, dude.
But no, like, the main reason, though, like, I feel like something like Groundhog Day is a good one to reference for it. Is, I mean, yeah, there's the whole, like, keeps doing the same day over and over shtick. But the fact that in both movies, pretty much the only way to go, like, well, the easiest way to go back is a ridiculously unforeseen death.
Yeah.
Like, that,
which is so it's genuinely funny.
Yeah, like that part with the truck really reminded me of like when you just see like Bill Murray just like quick cuts to like the next scene. Bill Murray's just sitting there with a toaster, drops it. Everyone just in the like the bed and breakfast just looking around like, huh? Next day,
Bill Paxton is like the sergeant in this, who's totally playing an awesome Bill Paxton character.
Oh my fucking God, I loved his character in this. He was basically playing like a mix of his characters from like Aliens and Weird Science.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's much older Chet. He's in charge of fucking war now. He's like, I come from Sweet Cranberry, Kentucky. Why do they call it that? I don't know. I don't give a shit. I didn't ask.
It's like, oh, you're an American. No, I am not. I am from Kentucky. It's like, okay.
You say it like that, it makes perfect sense to me. All right.
It's like Brad Pitt's character from Inglourious Basterds was just kind of just a bastard. It's kind of a real dick. Like that's where this guy was at.
He's kind of got the mustache too for it. Really. He's using a similar kind of tone that Pitt was in that flick, and the comedic timing is, and the movie's not even a comedy, and we're talking, this is, hey, again, I cannot stress the fact that if you want a perfect mixture of some laughs and really intense shit, because, yeah, there are funny parts in it, yeah, but it does get fucking serious.
Yeah.
But this is, you will have, if you want some laughs just based on that alone, oh my god, you will have a much better time at this than I have seen at actual comedies this fucking summer.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Like, seriously. And when there's one part, there are parts in this movie where I'm like, I sort of want to see it continue for like a minute on after Cruz dies in some instances, because one part, he has to get away from Paxton and the rest of that unit because he has to sneak away and meet up with Emily Blunt's character. So he's got a time rolling, as he's doing push-ups, rolling under a truck that's driving by it, and you just hear the first time he does it, you just hear this. You don't see his body, but you see Paxton go up to him like, son, what in the hell did you do that for? Or what were you thinking? Or something like that. He's talking to a corpse, and you almost want to see where it's going.
With that noise, you know that there cannot be any chance that he is under the assumption that he is okay.
Son, what were you thinking? Well, but you're picturing it going...
parading a fucking mangled body.
And it cuts from there, after he says, what were you thinking? It cuts from there and goes to the shot that you see in the trailer of Cruz waking up. He wakes up in that spot every time. But yeah, in my head, I'm like... In some of these instances where he dies, these characters have got to be flabbergasted by what just happened. Like, Bill Peck's like, well, don't just, what was it you said in the lobby? Like,
yeah, you have to assume, like, after the way he's like, well, why would he do that? Well, don't just let him sit there, scoop him up. And just move on with his day, like, all right, everybody, and just continue their fucking march.
And Cruz is so good in this movie. Cruz rocks in this. His comedic timing in these scenes is outstanding, because when he's in a situation like when he fucking breaks his neck at one point, he's I can kind of move my lips. Emily Blunt's like, nope. She's like, ah, god damn it. And he always wakes up just
Well, and again, like, these situations, like, seeing what plays out afterwards, like everyone there on that base has got to think that, like, Emily Blunt is just a maniac.
Full Metal bitch.
If they're around for those sections, like, it's like, I don't know, she's training with that guy, and she just shot him in the fucking head. It's like, she is fucking serious.
Holy shit. Yeah. Was there, like, the rest of that day, was she getting, like, fucking court-martialed? Well, then it matters. The world fucking ends the next day anyway. But yeah, you're exactly right. They're like, did she have a couple of her men just take him away and throw him in a body bag?
Put this shit in a dumpster.
Well, just goes about the rest of her day.
Just goes back to doing, like, fucking push-ups all day.
We'll continue this tomorrow. What? No! Just waking up, like, from the worst fever dream you can imagine.
Well, and a few times, like one of them, he gets clocked by that thing. It's like, oh yeah, your leg's broken. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm okay. I can move my toes. It's like crawling away. Like, you can hear her, like, racking in a fucking round. He's like, come on. All right, hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Fine. Or later on, she's like, look, I'm really tired. Maybe we should just reset. No. Because I like that about this movie, is that no matter how many times this happens to him, dying sucks. Like, oh my god, the first fucking... in this, and this is another. I mean, there are many differences between this and Groundhog Day, but in this, there is a reason this is happening.
There's aliens in this one.
Yeah, there is a reason it's happening to him. It gives an actual reason why this is happening to this guy. And holy crap, the first time it shows him getting killed is horrifying.
Oh God, yeah.
That's what starts it. Is these aliens that are terrifying looking? They're fucking like jellyfish from hell, like a million fucking like octopus tentacles going out, like
well, it's not
constant
even like
mouth open agape, and
the mouth thing is really creepy. Like their mouths are just like permanently just locked in like this terrifying like open position, like watch any movie with like from MGM, pause the lion when it's halfway through its roar. That's like the expression these things have permanently.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's not even like that they have a lot of like legs. It's like they just keep sprouting new ones constantly. It's fucking creepy. It's like it'll go to take a step forward and just two new legs will like come out of it and hit the ground, and you'll see the ones in the back just kind of like sneak back into it. But it does it in like this constantly like morphing, rolling around, sticking out like tentacles like in a scared way, and then pulling them back in, and then like rolling forward. It's like they're constantly moving, that they're absolutely fucking terrifying.
Oh, and that blood that just melts on his face, that's what...
Yeah, with like the bits of his skull just start like caving out. It's
Jesus!
Like, it's like, no, linger on this shot some more, please.
God, good fucking Lord! Look like when Dredd shot dude in the face with that fucking flare.
I said, hot shot.
And what I really love so much about Cruise's role and his performance in this is when this movie starts out, I mean, he is not the typical kind of action hero. He's not Ethan Hunt. He is not Ethan Hunt. He's not this very larger-than-life Cruise character. He's not an action guy at all. In this...
Honestly, at the beginning of this, he's fucking Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a spokesman for this war. He's not a combat guy. And so because of that, when they first put him on the battlefield, he is sweating bullets. He looks like he's shitting himself. He's shaking. And this isn't like Ethan...
He doesn't even know how to work the...
No, he doesn't know how to turn the safety off. I mean, he is scared shitless. He's a much more vulnerable character than you're used to seeing him in an action movie. And not only that, whereas like Ethan Hunt, when they shoot and frame Ethan Hunt, he looks like he's probably about 6'3", maybe something like that. In this, no, Cruise is playing his height. He is the shortest man there. He is, when they're running out with those soldiers. No, yeah, in this more than a lot. Yeah, Cruise is my height. I really liked that about. I mean, I'm a huge Cruise fan anyway, but it was really cool seeing him play a much more. Like if I was put in that fucking situation or something like that.
Well, and the fact that even like Emily Blunt, like shit, she's a good like fucking like half a head taller than him, at least in this.
Yeah.
Like it's not often like even like when he is playing opposite of someone who's actually taller than him, like Paula Patton or somebody like that in Mission Impossible. That's not how it frames.
Yeah. And they pull that off in the Mission Impossible movies. I didn't like there are some action guys, there are some actors that no matter how they frame them, you can just tell they're not Aaron Paul. Tom Cruise,
Sitting behind the wheel.
Cruise, I don't think I knew Cruise was that height until like somebody told me, or like somebody mentioned it or something like that, because they tend to frame him really well to make him look taller than he actually is.
Yeah, I like that they've been getting into a trend of kind of playing him just more how he is, like Jack Reacher.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely Jack Reacher. In that fight scene with like of the five guys in Jack Reacher's like, you sure, motherfucker? Really? You fucking sure you want to come at me? Yeah, and in this movie, Emily Blunt really is the the action person in this, from start to finish. She is Full Metal Bitch, as they call her. She is the face of this war. She is the face of the soldiers, the technology, the weaponry, and all that. And she's the one who, throughout the movie, is training crews to be a badass. By the end, and by the end, yeah, he kicks a lot of fucking alien ass in this.
Pretty good by the end of it.
Oh god, yeah, he's hanging from this fucking plane, fucking shooting these. I love the fucking unit of soldiers so much in this movie because it is fucking. It's fucking Megaforce Bruno's Terminator 2, you know, like...
Oh shit, those guys were a step above, like, a Hogan's Heroes.
These guys were fucking great. They are fucking giving each other shit, trading one-liners, they're fucking drinking, gambling. I mean, these are like... These are the guys that you send in to go after the Predator, you know? I mean, hell, it makes sense. These are the guys you would see in, like, an earlier James Cameron movies. It fucking makes sense that Bill Paxton is in there with them. Yeah, those guys were a lot of fun. They're like these ain't got time to bleed kind of motherfuckers. They're hanging from this plane, fucking shooting shit. They get pummeled. You see them get pummeled as much as Cruise does in this movie. They get squashed. They get torched.
That one guy gets hit with a plane like every 5 minutes.
The guy who is nude under his armor.
He likes that free range of motion.
Mm-hmm. There are really fun, entertaining characters in this movie.
Well, that one guy, I'm pretty sure is the guy from Wilford.
The TV series?
Yeah. The one that was always wearing like the Hawaiian shirts. Like, basically the one that was, I have to assume, the Hawkeye Pierce of their crew.
Yeah.
He was either wearing like Hawaiian shirts or like just sitting there in like a robe.
He did look. Yeah, I only know Wilford from the previews that I see of it, but he did look familiar every time he showed up in the movie.
I was trying to picture just his face, but with a painted nose.
Can you just put this on real quick? Here's what she did.
He looked like...
yeah.
It's right there. Kind of, yeah, okay.
You look up the picture on your cell phone, and then you kind of put it right at like kind of the center of your vision, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. That way,
line up.
What are you doing?
Are you recording that? No. Just looking at a picture of a man dressed like a dog.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. I've done sillier things in the theater, like the time that I confused my sunglasses for the 3D glasses.
It's like, this movie sucks.
Oh, man.
I can't see shit.
Well, that didn't help me either, was that Dave next to me said that his...
It's like, yeah, it is blurry, isn't it?
That fucked with me, too, so I'm... God fucking damn it. And I put them back on, like, do you still having problems? No, I'm fine. I'm like, oh. Casually switch them. Oh, I'm fine now. Okay, they work.
It must have fixed itself. Meh.
I'm stupid.
Well, shit, when we got out of this one, you were standing there with 3 pairs of glasses.
Well, when I got to the theater, I had my regular glasses on my shirt, and then I had the 3D glasses hanging there, too, and then my sunglasses, because it was daylight when we got there. I'm still getting used to that. I'm getting used to to daylight when I get to the movie theater, and... it's nice that it's not frozen in the car anymore. Now it's just balls hot.
And it's only going to get hotter.
Great.
I just broke the news to Brad that summer exists.
Ugh, I fucking hate it.
It gets hotter from here? That's bullshit.
I fucking hate it when he tells me this shit. Yeah, it's alright. Depending on the movie, I don't even notice the goddamn weather, because I might be yelling about the fucking movie like last week. Man, that movie sucked.
That fucking sucks.
Not Edge of Tomorrow. Shit, I hope someone watching this doesn't just automatically skip to that part.
Like, oh, fast forward a little bit. Man, that sucked. Well, I'm not watching it.
Crap! I really hope this movie does fucking well. I hope this movie... This is easily... I know the summer is not over yet. Between the big summer movies that we've had so far, Godzilla, Spider-Man 2, Days of Future Past, this is the one I would recommend the most on top of them. on top of them. And I liked Godzilla. I really liked Days of Future Past. You were more into Spider-Man 2 than me. This was so much goddamn fun. This was a blast. I had a great fucking time with this movie. It is suspenseful. It's funny as fuck. There are so many. Maybe that's why, as much as I did like Godzilla, but in terms of the characters, it's a night and day. Maybe the characters were so goddamn wooden in Godzilla because this movie stole all of them. The characters are so much fun in this goddamn movie.
Well, and I think a big thing, too, that lends itself to this movie kind of being a nice little standout right at the moment is, and I know that it's based off a book, but the fact that it's, that being aside, like the first like big action movie this year that it's it's original. It's not like a sequel to something. It's not a remake, or anything like that. It's just a nice standalone thing. And the way that it sets itself up at the end, that's it. Like, there's not going to be a sequel.
Yeah, you don't see one of the freaking things just jump out of like the Big Ben and fly at the freaking camera. No, it resolves itself by the end of it. It does. Whether you like where the movie goes or not, it does resolve itself at the end. And I liked where it went. I did. I thought it was a nice wrap-up. I thought it was a nice little... where they ended it with the ending credits, I thought was really cool.
Well, and the fact, too, that... Because, that's one of the things I felt like with last year with Oblivion.
Yeah.
Nice, original sci-fi setup, again, based off a book, sort of. Because they wrote the book so they could do the movie. But no, it's nice original setup, nice movie. It didn't leave itself just fucking dangling wide open for sequels.
Yeah, and again, Cruise giving me what will easily be one of my favorite action movies of the year. Yeah,
but yeah, it's also a really nice, like, I didn't realize this until we were coming out, but it's a really nice, clean time as well. Like
2 hours, probably.
Yeah, we went into the theater at 8. We got out of it at 10.
Yeah, which is really good. This movie, 2 hours makes sense. It's 2 hours. Not to bring this piece of shit up again. Million Ways to Die in the West.
No fucking reason.
No reason. It's goddamn 2 hours long.
Well, and that's the thing with this one is like. Because honestly, like, going into it, I assumed and that's me just assuming, but I assumed that it was going to be 2.5 hours long. Action movies these days, that's the fucking runtime, 2.5 to 3 fucking hours.
I know I saw the length of it before, because when I checked the movie times on the AMC site, it has the length next to it.
Usually I only check for how long it's going to be if it's one that I know that I'm not going to like watching.
Like, what was the surprise you had? Was it Son of God? Surprise 2.5 hours or something?
Surprise 3 fucking hours.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly. No, that was the one where like 2 hours in, I'm like, fuck me, I have to look up how fucking long this is. Oh good, it's 3 hours long.
Well, actually, wait, I remember the AMC site sometimes AMC the site, sometimes if they don't know what the running time is right away, it'll just blanket say 2 hours. That was one of those cases, because when we went, because I
wasn't figuring it was going to be that fucking long.
My movie that night must have been at a completely different time, because I had enough time to come back home and then go back to you guys. And so when I was at home, I found out the length of it and was, oh no. So on the way back, I got Sarah and Brian McDonald's, but I forgot to ask them to take the onions off for you, so you had to give your burger to... Nope. Thanks anyway, ass.
It's like, oh, here's some food. You can't eat it.
Wow, I'm a dick.
But no, like I thought this movie was exactly the length it needed to be.
And movies
because I mean they could have put more in it. They fucking
Sure.
Like with the whole like resetting thing with the way they were doing it, they could have put a whole fuck lot more into this movie, but they chose not to. So like it didn't feel like it was just being drawn out. But at the same time, if they had taken anything more from it, it would have felt so fucking rushed or just incomplete.
Or
Had like huge like jumps in logic. Like, okay, well, they're just trying something different now. Okay, whatever.
oh yeah, like it could have turned into like Next, which didn't have. I mean, it didn't. It had a character in the movie who can kind of predict things like Tom Cruise does at a point in this movie. Dear God, this is a whole fucking lot better than Next. But like the kind
it
of
doesn't have a character named Frank Cadillac.
I forgot that was his name. But like, because Groundhog Day is not the only movie that has done something like this, and if you don't do this kind of thing right, it runs the risk of being goddamn tedious.
Yeah.
Like, what was there? They did a TV show that was like was it Daybreak? Wasn't it like Taye Diggs, where it was like he was repeating the same day again, but it was like a cop show. Like his wife got killed or something
there
like
was
that.
Something like that.
It lasted. It did not even last a season, if I remember right. But there was that. There was also, and this do the reliving the same thing, but it kept flashing back to the same 20-minute. That what was that movie called? The one with Dennis Quaid, and where it was about a presidential assassination, and it kept flashing. I keep wanting to say Vanishing Point, but that's not. It's a title like that.
Yeah, it's Vantage Point.
Vantage Point. Thank you. Yeah.
Like there were a couple of things that came out around the same time that were like that. Like
yeah.
Well, it's similar. Not like the repeating thing, but like, assassination attempt, shit like that around the same time.
Oh yeah, and Vantage Point. I was working at the video store when that came out. I rented that and sat home and was like. It feels like I am just rewatching the same 20 minutes over and over again. Like I have the freaking remote set on shuffle for the same goddamn episode. Did you ever see that movie?
No, I never did.
Here's the thing. The reveal at the end of who the villain is, spoiler, it's the one they're not showing the flashbacks of. Oh, the other spoiler is in the trailer.
See, like, it's like some stuff like, yeah, like... And stuff that even like not even like that. Like if you show the same shit over and over again in a movie, it's always going to run the risk of like really pissing you off. Like,
oh, this doesn't do that. This has a solid arc of different kind of levels that they're going through. To be perfectly honest.
Well, because like with what was it? Whiteout with Kate Beckinsale.
I didn't see Whiteout.
Don't.
I'll tell you what, I'll watch Whiteout, you watch Vantage Point.
Okay. We'll come back here and talk about that next week. But
no, we won't talk about it. This will just be something to do because it's stupid.
But no, it's basically The Thing if there's no monster.
Really? Was it like a serial killer or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wasn't
but
that
they're still like in the, like, on like a, Antarctic, like, way station.
Wasn't that Detox with Stallone where there was like a kill? Weren't they in a bunch of fucking snow in that movie?
Fuck, I can't remember.
I know, me too, which is saying something because I've seen that movie. I might have been drunk when I watched it.
That was probably it. But no, with Whiteout, like, it'll show her do something, and then she'll like fall asleep, and then her dream will just be a flashback to what literally just happened.
Really?
Like, there's a scene where, like, she's, like, running through the snow, trying to get away from, like, whoever the killer is, and it's whiteout conditions, and she manages to, like, get up to one of the doors, she's struggling with it, gets in, slams it shut, falls down, and, like, passes out.
Okay.
And then you can tell she's having a flashback, because now it's slightly orange-tinted instead of being slightly blue-tinted. And it's her running through the snow, looking back, trying to get away from the killer. She gets up to the door, she's fucking around with it, gets in, slams it, falls down, passes out, and then she wakes up. I'm like, why did that just happen?
What I remember most about that a couple of things. I mean, I remember the trailers, certainly, but I remember the reviews for that movie being like, it turns out an action scene's not a good thing to shoot in a whiteout.
There's so much of that movie that is just... It's like watching static. It's like trying to get, like back in the day when you were trying to get in a channel that you really couldn't. It was just all fucking, like, scrambled up and shit.
Oh, God.
You could kind of, like... Or, like, when you were,
I think I see tits.
Leave it here, man. Or, like if you were watching, like, back in the antenna days...
Yeah.
Or if you had really shitty cable... Like you had like that one channel that always got like bleed through from like the next channel over. Mm-hmm. So you're like, well, I really don't want to watch like, you know, Everybody Loves Raymond with my dad, but I can kind of see something else going on over the top of it. I'll try to pay attention to that.
Oh God. Yeah. I also remember. I remember every time I saw the poster for that movie too. I kept thinking like, oh, Jennifer Aniston's in a new movie. Seriously, the poster, maybe it's just me, but the poster for that looks way more like Jennifer Aniston than it did Kate Beckinsale. That looked as much like Kate Beckinsale as that poster for Tammy looks like Melissa McCarthy. You seen that fucking poster?
It looks like a fucking Photoshop picture of like Chris Farley in like a wig.
Melissa McCarthy is Photoshopped. Irving's the big Melissa McCarthy fan, so I sent him that picture earlier.
Can I assume we'll start getting hate mail now?
Just from simply mentioning Irving and Melissa McCarthy in the same sentence, we'll instantly get hate mail. Oh man, I'm disappointed that he couldn't make it to A Fault in Our Stars. Somehow Irving plus cancer movie should equal gold. It'll be mostly probably Sarah hitting him in the head with her hat again.
Or making really disapproving faces. That's the thing, like a video like that would be like you know, like it's like hit count for that one really high. Popularity for him really low. His approval ratings will drop.
I like the idea that we all have approval ratings on the site.
I don't know.
I'll talk to Jillian. She puts she adds the banners and stuff like that on the site. Jillian, can you put up an approval rating on the site for all of us? What? No, I saw the comments on that Transcendence video I was in. Don't worry, we can make sure you're always at 100.
I mean, obviously we'll fudge the numbers. I mean, we have egos to preserve.
Oh yeah. Totally. I love how even in like the early scenes in Edge of Tomorrow, when Cruz he's just a guy you see on the news who is selling this war to people. That's what he is. He's a face on 24-hour news.
Yeah, he's a PR man. He's a charming military guy who has zero experience.
Yeah, we're gonna put you on the front line, son. What? Well, I love that scene though because it's not action movie Cruz in those scenes, but he still whips out the awesome shit-eating grin, which is amazing. He's like, what does he say? He's like trying to charm his way out of being in the battlefield to Brendan Gleeson. He says,
who's having fucking none of it.
No, oh my God. And Cruz is like, I can hang back and maybe just sit and tie my shoes or something. It's great.
It's like it gives him the fucking smile. Charm. If that's not working, it's like, what I meant was I think I know like one or two guys. I'll put together a list of guys who are more qualified for this. He's saying as he's getting up and like walking out of the room.
He's saying I get much better people than me.
It's like, nope, going to war.
It's great. Those two worked really great together in that scene. Anytime, whether Cruz is action guy, romantic lead, or in this, dude who doesn't want to go to war, when he turns on the shit-eating grin and the crew's toothy charm, it is gold every single time.
It's just fantastic. Like, he's giving it his all, and then it cuts back to the other side of the two shot, and he's just sitting there just like...
Gleason is, yeah.
It's like, I am an American officer. It's like, nope, talk to your commanding officer, you're under me now. It's like...
I helped you sell this war. They're gonna be pretty mad when... How does he blackmail? He's like, they're gonna be really, really mad when you... What does he say?
He basically kind of... You know, he mentions that, like, he's the one who, like, charmed enough people to, like, join up in the service to fight against this alien menace. He's like, and when all these people start dying and they're looking for someone to blame, how hard do you think it would be for me to pin that on you?
I will go on 24-hour news. I've got Jake Trapper on speed dial. Seriously go see this movie. Like, even if you haven't seen the rest of the summer stuff that's out, go see this. Like, you know, any cynicism that you have about, like, oh, it looks like Groundhog Day, whatever, seriously put that aside. This is a really, really damn fun fucking movie. Even if you don't like some of the actors who are in it, seriously give it a chance. Give it a fucking chance, because it has so much humor, it has so much action, it has enough suspense in it, it's well shot, it's well written, the characters are great, there's bound to be at least something in there that you'll probably like. I mean, I love the shit out of this goddamn movie.
Yeah, because, I mean, even if, like, even if, like, Tom Cruise is, like, your, like, that's the point at which you're like, Tom Cruise, no, I don't want, you know. Look past that. I mean, it's a really well done movie. It's a really engaging story. It's a fun action ride. You know, it's a very well put together, very original action movie. And again, like there's bits and pieces, like, you can compare it to, like, fucking half a dozen different movies. But you know what? You can fucking do that to anything else too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this movie did not make me think, oh, I've seen that in something else. I've seen that in something else. It didn't. I was fully engaged by this thing. I completely was. Yeah, I'll fully admit, like, I'm. You and I both are like this. If Cruise's name is on a movie, I'm fucking seeing that shit. I'm fucking seeing that shit. And I'm not recommending this movie just based solely on that alone, because that didn't stop either one of us from saying Rock of Ages was bad.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you're a diehard Tom Cruise fan like we are, yeah, this movie will give you a lot of stuff to love. It absolutely truly will. But even beyond that, totally beyond that, this is just a genuinely damn fucking good movie. It really is.
And because, like, it does so many different ideas with this, like, it goes in several different directions with things, like the entire movie is not him just trying to go in, like, a straight line.
No.
After they land on that beach that you see is, like, part of the thing. Like, it's not just, like, him, like, over and over again, like, okay, how do I figure out how to get through this? Run a couple feet. I get hit by a truck. Run a couple feet. Miss the truck. I get hit with a bullet. Run a couple feet. Miss the truck. Miss the bullet.
Yeah.
An alien. Like, it's not that. Like, it does, like, different, like, speed cuts to it, and then it's like this isn't working. Let's try something different. I'm gonna go somewhere else today.
Yeah, it strategizes it, and going back to the whole comparing it to a video game, there's a part where he rage quits. There is a part where he just leaves and goes to a bar.
Just steals a motorcycle and just fucks off to, like, London, which, I mean, they're based out of, like, Heathrow Airport. So, yeah, he just steals a bike, goes into the fucking city. He's in some, like, little bar, like, right off from the Thames.
I know what those aliens are after. They're after our mercury. Some drunk guy in the bar. Yeah,
they're here for our oxygen.
These guys, he just goes off just like, yo, fuck it today. Fuck. I'm just gonna go get fucking drunk. He still dies, because the aliens destroy London. Yeah, he still fucking dies. Yeah, there are parts where, like when you're playing a game, a hard game, where he doesn't know what to do when they're at the helicopter. And he straight up tells her, no matter every single thing that I've tried, this scenario will end with you dying. There's nothing I can do. It's a really, actually pretty fucking serious moment in the movie.
Well, and it's one of those things, too, like, you can really understand his frustration and everything, because that's after so much shit has happened already in that particular fucking day.
Oh, God.
That, fuck me, to get to that point, like, look, I know that there, as soon as we try to do this, they will immediately be on our ass, and we will probably die. You will definitely die.
Yeah.
But us both probably, yes. It's like, I've tried this a few times already. It's like that's got to be frustrating, like, to do all of that perfectly again, get to that exact same point and be like, God damn it, she's gonna fucking, I know she's gonna go in there, that goddamn helicopter again, and we're gonna fucking die. Jesus Christ. Oh, like, this whole fucking day was wasted.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, yeah. And like how she says to him, like, you know how to fly this helicopter, don't you? And he's like, well, I mean, kinda. I can take off. Landing's a little tough. Which implies that he's crashed that fucking thing and died when he tried landing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what that implies. They've gotten as far as getting it off the ground. She didn't make it. And then when he tried landing, he probably just blew his ass up each time.
Oh my
God.
God.
Now to set it down gently. Drop. It's like, push the stick forward, flop.
I know exactly what that's like. That's like when me, Ryan, and Jake, about 10 years ago, were playing, I think it was one of the Medal of Honor games. I'm not sure. It's one where at one point you get control of a helicopter, and this was on his computer, so there was a stick there we were using, and Ryan is sitting like, I'll just pull it back to take off. I'm like, okay, here's what the helicopter did. Well, you told me to pull it back, man. Like, I didn't tell you to leave it there. That's what I'm picturing Cruz doing.
Like, lean it forward a little bit.
You've never accidentally done the old...
Can't say that's come up a lot in my life.
I think we needed a game that had a sweet 60s soundtrack, so I'm pretty sure we were playing a Nom game. I could have just... Oh yeah, I was one of the guys from all the Nom movies who's on acid. That's what that problem was.
There's some game that we picked up, Letty and I picked up the other day for her sister. Some game for the PS2. I had never fucking heard of it. It's called Conflict Vietnam.
I've come across that. I've never played it.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. It's just like your typical, like Call of Duty, Medal of Honor type thing. Except it's actually one set in fucking Nam.
Maybe that's the one that we were playing. It might have been.
Apparently the whole soundtrack is just like shit like, the
CCR
Doors and shit like that.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one we were playing. Go find a part with a helicopter. Let me know.
It was like the only thing she remembered was like, I don't know. It plays like Paint It Black at some point. I'm like, well,
yeah.
It's Nom. You're in the shit. Why wouldn't it play that?
The Nom movies have taught me that there were constant speakers all throughout the shit, all throughout the jungle that played some sweet tunes.
All 10 songs that existed in 1967.
It was always All Along the Watchtower, Fortunate Son, White Rabbit, Paint It Black. Constant loop.
When I was a kid, I just assumed that Along the Watchtower had to be playing in order for a helicopter to be traveling.
Oh, yeah. That's in the 60s.
That's how they were powered.
They were powered with Hendrix. I hope they address that in this Hendrix movie that they've been trying to make for years.
When he invented the propulsion system.
Mm-hmm. I know my history.
For military aircraft. It's the song that has to play in order to get them like above the tree line and over a ridge.
It's exactly what U.S. history is. If you did enough drugs in high school like I did. I was in the shit, goddammit. Is next week that odd week where it's one movie? The one I was telling you about earlier. Where we got a return of fucking Best Man Holiday Week, where that was the only movie that came out. This, I don't know if it's next week.
Unopposed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's next week or the week after, but what the fuck is it? Think Like a Man 2, TOO, with, it's like the whole...
Think Like a Man, also.
Well, I got the trailer for it, and it was... I was like, oh, so it's a sequel, okay. When I was first watching the trailer, I was like, this has, like, everybody from About Last Night in it. But then when I saw the title, I was like, okay, well, apparently About Last Night has everybody from Think Like a Man in it.
I've never heard of the first one to know there's a second one.
I couldn't have told you who was fucking in it, but I vaguely remember that name when it came out. But yeah, there's either next week or the week after... I don't know, me, you, and Dave will be at this to compare it to Best Man Holiday, I guess?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. That's either next week or there's like 22 Jump Street opposite How to Train Your Dragon 2. Or as AMC.com calls it, How to Train Your Dragon sequel.
Untitled How to Train Your Dragon sequel.
Yeah. Well, Jake, and if that's next week, Jake and I will be at that, and Jillian called dibs on 22 Jump Street when she first saw trailers for it, so maybe she'll get sick again and we'll be in a shitty comedy again. I was talking to her about that when I brought the car back to her last week.
Yeah, how'd that go? And you're like, oh man, you so dodged a fucking bullet.
It was not one of those situations where she was like, oh, but maybe I'll like it. No, it was when I was explaining it to her, she was just like, I think she said something like, tell Brian I'm really sorry.
And then the sheep were dancing, and then they were peeing out of their giant comical CG penises.
Oh, man!
And then...
Fuck that! Oh, fuck. What's great about a movie like A Million Ways to Die in the West is that's one of those movies that we could totally trash in one of those videos, and there's not really anyone on the comments who's like, you guys are full of shit.
I was worried that there might be a few, like, diehard Seth MacFarlane fans that would be like, it's like, that's unfair. You probably just didn't like it. Wasn't your kind of movie. You didn't get the jokes. Like, I was waiting for, like, somebody to go around with that, but
No, there were some people who were like, I still like some Family Guy. There were some people like that, but, like, I don't even know. Most of the 98% of them were just talking about my lack of voice and what I sounded like. But I don't even know if there was really anyone on the board who actually saw it. I mean, I'm sure there was probably a couple, but I don't fucking remember. According to the box office last week, not fucking many. It did kind of well on Friday, and then...
plunge.
That sweet, this movie sucks plunge. I got any final thoughts? I pretty much already said mine.
Go fucking see this one. It's really good. You'll have a good time. It's quick. So if you don't like it, it'll be over pretty soon. But like it goes quick, I guess I should say. It's not short, but it goes really fast.
It does.
It keeps a good clip. It never feels like it's getting bogged down. The premise stays pretty fresh the whole way through. Like, it's never like, okay, and then she's gonna have to shoot him in the head again.
Yeah, no, the gags like that don't overstay their welcome. They really don't.
It's like it'll do like some serious shit for a little bit, and then it'll go through like some odd little quick cuts where it's like him getting run over by a truck and people just looking at it like, now why? Why did I have to see that happen?
Kind of like with I'm sure at some point someone will say like, exactly how many times he's done this, because you can go online and see people theorizing about Groundhog Day, just how many days it'd probably be a little easier to narrow down with this, maybe, I don't know, but regardless, if you can narrow that down, if there are people who can kind of narrow that down with Groundhog Day, this one you probably could. That would be kind of curious to see how many times the poor guy had to do this. Fuck. He is gonna sleep so well.
Or never again.
Good point, yeah.
Like, Emily Blunt makes that confession at one point, like, it's like about like that one guy that was on her squad. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I had to watch him die 300 times.
Yeah,
I'm kind of done talking about it at this point.
Yeah, that's another thing. Real quick, yeah, that's another thing this addresses well too. Is it does get to him how many times he sees her die.
He watches her get killed a fucking
lot. And it
Like
addresses how that could really fuck with you.
Their little strategy session of like, it's like, okay, I run up the hill, I look right, cuts to the battlefield, she's just like,
yeah,
mangled, like, back to the war room. Like, okay, I run up the hill, I look right, but then I cut left, cuts back to the battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay, I stop up here and we take a different hill.
But then, like, there'll be a moment in there where he's just kind of looking at her, and the look on his face is he's pretty haunted. He's like...
There's that one point where you can tell, like, he stopped giving a fuck. Like, he looks over and he knows that one guy's about to get crushed. He's like,
oh, yeah.
Glances are like, nope.
Not gonna save you this time, buddy. Sorry.
Today ain't your day.
I'll get back to you tomorrow.
I'll try to save you tomorrow when I actually give a shit about doing any of this.
Well, I'll be back tomorrow with Fault in Our Stars.
I'll be back tomorrow to review this again.
That would be hilarious. Re-review.
Like, this is how I get hit with a bus.
Holy crap. J.J. Abrams guest directed this re-review. I'll be back tomorrow with Fault in Our Stars, and then next week will either be 22 Jump Street or Dragons, or it'll be that odd...
Or it'll be us watching the sequel to a movie none of us even remember.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. See ya.